A lawyer for Jack Phillips of Masterpiece Cake Shop says his refusal to make trans woman's gender confirmation cake was based on its message. It is March 23rd, 2021. My name is Hakeem Brown, and this is Pop City Culture.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You'll never have the sacred stone. Oh, this you crazy mother.
Welcome to the most listened to international podcast around the world. Hakeem and Reggie Brown are two young African-American boys speaking the truth. This is Pop City Culture.
Yo, what's up, everybody, man? Oh, we got another interesting show today. Oh, my God, we got some controversy going on in Colorado at a bakery shop. Yo, this one's about that bakery. I mean, he's in the news again. This dude is in the news again because he's refusing to serve gay people or anybody in the LGBTQ community, man. Personally, man, that's some messed up stuff. But anyways, I'm going to hand it over to my brother so we can get this show a-rolling. Here you go, Hakeem.
Thank you, Reggie. And, so today we're going to be talking about a Colorado baker who is in the Supreme Court again, and he faces a second LGBTQ bias lawsuit.
Man, this guy
now,
be racking up the hairs.
A lot of us know what happened before. I guess
not all of us.
Somebody came into a shop before they were gay, and they wanted him to decorate a cake or something. We didn't do a show on that, but this is something that we decided to do a show on this one because we were doing a lot of other shows on
we're doing a lot
on other things that were political, but we're trying to expand our show theme and topics,
and I like that.
So yeah, this we're doing now. So in Denver, we're gonna give you an update. A Colorado baker who won a partial victory at the United States Supreme Court. Now this happened in 2018 for refusing to make a wedding cake for the same sex couple.
Say what? Man, say it ain't so.
Now that went to trial Monday in yet another lawsuit. This one involved a birthday cake for a transgender woman. Now let me get the paperwork here. Autumn Scardina attempted to order the birthday cake on the same day in 2017 that the High Court announced it would hear baker Jack Phillips' appeal in the wedding cake case. Scardina, an attorney, requested a cake that was blue on the outside and pink on the inside in honor of her gender transition.
Man, I don't see nothing wrong with that. I don't know why the guy couldn't just make the cake. I hope he did. I mean, what's going on here?
So her lawsuit is the latest in a series of cases around the United States that pit the rights of LGBTQ people against merchants. Religious objections, an issue that remains unsettled by the nation's top court. Now, Reggie, I want to know, what do you think about that?
Yo, man, don't you think you might need some water or something, man? Sounds like you got something stuck in your throat or something.
Okay, don't get off topic, but yeah, the weather's changing,
and what?
I'm going to need some water, which we don't have here. So what do you think about the case? Just get
Man, I'm going to tell you. The guy's a baker. He should bake the cake. I don't know what the issue is with this guy. But man, if somebody goes in there and wants a cake, they should be getting a cake. If I want a Black Lives Matter cake, what, is he going to use that religion crap against me too?
Yes, but I don't think that the baker, the bakery shop guy, I don't think he is refusing to serve the LGBTQ community because from what I understand, people can come in and buy cakes.
I wouldn't buy nothing from that guy.
Buy cookies and cupcakes and candles, all that stuff. But I guess he just doesn't want to make a cake like that.
But man, that's what he's in the business of. You know, he's supposed to be making stuff. I mean, nobody's asked him to go above and beyond what he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
Anyways, on Monday, during a virtual trial being conducted by a state judge in Denver...
Man, you ain't even going to reply to what I said?
Scardina said Phillips had maintained that, as a Christian, he opposed making the gay couple's wedding cake because it involves a religious ceremony, but would sullen
Man, that sounds like a personal
and-
issue.
but would sell any other type of product.
Man, but that's the thing. He should be. I mean, if somebody asks him to do something and he's a baker, do it. You know.
Yep. She said she called Phillips Masterpiece Cake Shop to place the order after the hearing about the court's announcement because she wanted, she wanted to find out if he really meant it. When her lawyer, Paula Greason, asked whether the call was a setup, she said it was not.
I don't know. I don't. Something sounds sort of set up there, but whatever.
It was more of calling someone's bluff, she said. In opening arguments, a lawyer representing Phillips said Sean Gates said his refusal to make Scardina's cake was about the message, not discriminating against Scardina, echoing assertions made in Phillips' legal battle over his refusal to make a wedding cake for Charlie, Craig, and Dave Mullins. And that happened in 2012. Now, with Phillips getting the media attention since then, he could not create a cake with a message he disagreed with, Gates said. Okay, the message would be that he agrees that a gender transition is something to be celebrated, says Gates, who notes later that Phillips had objected to making cakes with other messages he opposed, including Halloween items.
Man, I don't know what's up with this guy and not wanting to do stuff against his own religious beliefs. What does Halloween got to do with the kid? Man, man, I don't get this guy, man. He sounds sort of wacky-backy, man. Whatever,
Now,
man.
before filing her lawsuit, Scardina filed a complaint against Phillips, which states,
Sue it all around.
and the Colorado Civil Rights Commission found probable cause that Phillips had discriminated against her. Phillips then filed a federal lawsuit against Colorado, accusing it of waging a crusade to crush him and pursuing the complaint. So, yeah, this is getting messy.
It's getting real messy, man. I mean, you know, I'm sure all he really had to do was just make a cake. Just, you know, say, hey, here's your cake, whatever. He didn't have to give his own opinion on it or his own personal religious beliefs. All he had to do was his job. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so Reggie, you know, if you're going to talk about... So Reggie, you're saying if somebody wants a car designed a certain way, then the person designing the car should do it because that's their job?
Man, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's his job, man. He's in the position, the job position,
Okay.
you know, supply and
So,
demand. That's what you want, you know?
Let me see here. In March 2019, lawyers for the state and Phillips agreed to drop both cases under a settlement which still allows Scardina to pursue her own
Her own what, man? Spit it out.
her
Spit it out.
own lawsuit. At the time, Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser said
Man, yeah, she ought to pursue her own thing. You know what I'm saying?
agreed it was not in anyone's best interest to move forward with the case.
I guess they should know. I
So-
mean, if they see this stuff all the time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is sort of. I would say it's out of control. But I will say this, Reggie. There's something else in which we need to talk about. Now let's talk about, because I wanted to get this. I had heard about this, and so we had to actually look this up. There's a Muslim perspective on the Masterpiece Cake Shop.
Oh my God, the plot thickens. I have got to hear this. I got to hear
Because
this.
you know it affects. This is going to affect everybody. What's going on here now? Islam does not permit one to discriminate in providing services to individuals because they believe or behave in a way counter to one's understanding of Islamic teachings.
Well, what's going on with the baker now? I mean, right now, what exactly is going on with him?
So cupcakes adorned with the American flag sit on trays for supporters of Jack Phillips, owners of Masterpiece Cake Shops, after a rally on the campus of a Christian college on November 8th, 2017 in Lakewood, Colorado.
I don't know, man. To me, that sort of sounds so wrong.
Now listen to this. The small rally was held to build support for Phillips, who is at the center of the case that will be considered by the U.S. Supreme Court, in that December. Well, the case may determine if business owners like Phillips are having their rights of religious liberties and free expressions violated by having to offer their wedding services to same-sex
Man,
couples.
seriously, their rights. Man, what about everybody else's rights? You know what I'm saying?
American
Man.
Muslims not only have a stake in the outcome of the Masterpiece Cake Shop Limited versus Colorado Human Rights Commission, but must take a moral stand on it as well. You see, the case, which was argued before the Supreme Court pits freedom of religion and expression against non-discrimination laws. At the center of the case is a Colorado bakery owner who, in 2012, refused to sell, as we know, a wedding cake to a gay couple because of his religious convictions that doing so would support gay marriage rights and violate his religious beliefs.
Dude, man, I'm getting so tired of people just hiding behind their religion and stuff. Just do the job. How hard is it to make a cake?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be all he would have to do is make a cake. It's just, he's there to make a cake. I don't.
Man, that's what
get
I
it,
said. Man, that's what I said.
Well, you know what, Reggie, I don't want to inject my beliefs on this because we're trying to show both sides.
Your beliefs, dude. I'm the one who just said that. You're just taking my words.
So in an argument, U.S. Solicitor General Noel Francisco supports the baker's case. Offered an analogy. Now, listen to this analogy of an African American artist who he said should not be compelled to sculpt a cross that would be used by the KKK, which is the Ku Klux Klan. Well, what do you think about that, Reggie?
Man, you sort of threw me for a loop on that, but I'm gonna tell you, man. You know what? If the guy's a sculptor and he's being hired to do something and he's being paid to do it, he shouldn't care what his artwork's being used for because he's making it and he's selling it, man.
Okay, now taking another perspective, Justice Stephen G. Breyer said the court did not want to undermine every single civil rights law, while Justice Anthony Kennedy suggests that a bakery posting a sign that declared he does not bake wedding cakes for gay couples might be an affront to the gay community.
Affront, man? That's just downright rude, man. That's like the 1960s Jim Crow stuff, man.
So now, for American Muslims or any other religious community, and for the matter, this court case will set a legal precedent that could allow any firm that provides services to the public to deny those services to specific individuals for any number of reasons based on religious beliefs.
Man, here we go again with the religious stuff, man. It's like it's tearing us apart. People, I don't know, man, they just can't make a cake. What's wrong with people,
so,
man?
You know
That's
what?
all I gotta do.
This
What?
interpretation of religious freedom could transform our nation, could transform the United States from where rights are respected and uniformly protected under the law to one where subgroups are identified for discriminations, isolation, and exclusion by those who interpret their religion as one that calls for different treatments for others based on their identity, viewpoints, or way of life.
Man, I swear it sounds like we're going back to the 60s, man, to some hateful times, man. This is getting really ridiculous.
I'm gonna, Reggie, I want to tell you this. So, in the 1960s, a South Carolina restaurant owner argued that his religious beliefs meant he could refuse to serve black customers. Now, black African American customers in the 1960s in South Carolina restaurant. The owner argued his religious beliefs meant he could refuse to serve black customers. In the 1970s and 1980s, schools claimed that they should be allowed to pay women less than men based on the belief that men should be the head of the household. In all these cases, the courts ruled that religious views do not entitle any of us to discriminate.
Man, well, that's good. Nobody should be discriminating, That's downright sick, man.
Reggie, can you imagine?
I can't imagine.
If that was still alive today and they said, you know what, I don't want to serve that black person.
Man, it's still alive.
Because they're black and it goes against my religious beliefs.
Listen, the bottom line is it's happening today. It's happening in that bakery shop, ain't it? That's why we talking about this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
It's messed up. So as American Muslims, they were saying, we fully understand that civil rights and religious freedoms are both critical to our identities. Muslims continue to face challenges in areas of, now listen to this, employment, housing, and public accommodations. Now, non-discrimination laws assure that a state does not take sides when it comes to religion, by favoring one religious tradition over another religious tradition. And these laws promote religious pluralism by prohibiting religious basis.
On what?
And based on discrimination by private actors. Without these protections, Reggie, businesses would be legally permitted to discriminate against us and other minorities. Do you understand that?
Man, of course I understand it, man. Why you always gotta seem like you talking down to me like I'm stupid or something? Man, I ain't stupid. I'm keeping up with you. I know what you're saying.
Now, from an Islamic perspective, religion is not serving its purpose if human dignity is comprised. I mean, religiously motivated discrimination goes against the Islamic principles of tolerance and protection of individual rights.
I know that, man, but I don't think a lot of people know as another thing that, the media portrays Muslims like some radical stuff. Like, that's a radical religion, but it really ain't,
So,
from what I understand.
Here's the thing.
What's the thing? What you gonna tell me?
Reggie,
Enlighten me.
I was asking you today.
What were you asking me?
So what if somebody said, what if a Muslim woman went to the registry of motor vehicles, and she had her.
Yo, man, are you good, man? What are you sitting there pausing for, man?
But that's because I don't know what the name of the garment is that Muslim women wear on their face. So I'm gonna have to call up Maya. Okay, hang on a second. Hang on here. Hold on.
Hello?
Hey Maya, what's that thing Muslim women wear on their face?
A hijab?
Hijab?
Yeah, but there's one that covers their face and there's one that doesn't, but they're called two different things. I only know the one called a hijab, but the other one that covers their whole face and only leaves their eyes is something different.
All right, so hijab's not like a derogatory term?
No. People
Okay.
call them hijabis.
Okay, all right, bye.
Bye.
Man, she was helpful. That's good, man. She saved your butt.
Okay, so here's the thing. If a woman goes to the registry of motor vehicles
Yeah, I'm following you. Go on.
and she's wearing a hijab, a face covering for her religious beliefs,
Now that you know what it's called.
and the registry says, listen, you have to take that off because we need to see your face.
I don't know about that, man. Now we're getting into some murky territory.
What do you think about that?
Like I said, I think we're getting into some murky territory. And, man, that's her religious belief. She can't be taking that off, man. What you think,
But Reggie,
you know?
she has to be identified. They have to know who she is. They have to see her face.
So you comparing getting a cake compared to taking off your hijab, a religious thing?
Otherwise, let's say she got stopped by the police, and she gave them her license for speeding or whatever.
Or they just harassing her,
Okay, Reggie.
Uh-huh.
And
Go ahead.
and they said, we have to see your face. Can you remove your hijab? Should she be forced to remove it? I'm not even. I don't know how that would go.
Okay, listen, I don't think she should be forced to remove it. I can understand identifying somebody, but again, we're talking about religious
Reggie, this
stuff.
is the thing, okay?
What are you going to say now? 'Cause I don't know where you're going with this.
Right now, we are living in my opinion, difficult times, where everything's being questioned and there's no respect for anything.
I agree with
But-
that. Yeah, I agree.
Like we said a second ago, when it came to the restaurants in the 1960s, what if they said, because of my religious belief, blacks have to sit in the back of the bus because they can't consort with white people in the front of the bus?
Well, we know that's right,
What if
right?
they said black people have to sit up in the balcony with the torn seats
Well, we know that that's not
in the
good.
movie theaters because we don't want a mingling here?
Well,
what if they said
what?
black people
Go on.
can't go to our white schools?
Well, that'd be
what
messed
if they
up
said
because we
black
have to
people
go to the
can't
schools. What?
use the same water fountains?
But that's sort of ridiculous, don't you think?
There
Huh?
has to come a time where common sense just takes over.
Of course, I
and
understand
to bring it
that.
back to the bakery,
Well, go on.
you know,
Well, yeah. What? What?
does he have a right to say, I don't want to serve anybody in the LGBTQ?
I don't.
um,
I don't know
community.
where you're going with this. The bottom line is, I
Okay.
think what he did was wrong.
So
he should
anybody,
be serving everybody.
I did say, anybody can buy cupcakes or whatever in a store. I guess he just doesn't want to create a specialized cake like that because he says it goes against his religious beliefs. So is that something, people should
He wants respect. He should give respect to
should
everybody
say,
else.
okay, we're going to back
That's
you
it.
up or we're not going to back you up, I mean, this is a, people got to start being nice. This I do agree with, So anyways, we wanted to have people know what's going on, let people think, let people see, both sides of what's going on in the world. And we hope everybody got something out of this. So that brings us to what, Reggie?
It's going to bring us to the words of wisdom, man. And yeah, I just want to say, yeah, these are tough times, and I hope what you got to say is good, because you always say something good. So take it away, big brother. Take it away.
To be or not to be? Is that the question? Religion has played a pivotal role in the world. It has brought people together. It has also torn down nations. There are more religions in the world than one can count. But should anyone use religion as an excuse to do or not to do? Do people hide behind religion as a protection for what they personally believe? There are many things in life that cost absolutely nothing. A hug is one of them. A smile is another. A kind word, and yes, a good deed. We talk about the rights of religious beliefs, but what about human rights? That's right. Human rights should be at the bottom of this. Human rights should be at the top of this list. Where do we draw the line when our personal beliefs infringe on someone else's rights? They say the world is big. That's what they say. I don't know who says this, but in my very own limited existence, I have seen how small people can really be. We as a people know, as a human race, need to get along, because this issue should not be the beginning of anything. The issue should be the end. As the words of the great philosophers known as the Beatles once said, all you need is love. Well, I say, love is all you need.
That was really good. I want to thank you for what you had to say. And I really did like this program. So, do what you do,
All right,
brother.
thank you, everybody. And that will bring us to the end of our show.
Pops and
Now, listen,
Culture
we want
Show.
to thank everybody for joining us this week.
Thank you,
and
thank you,
making
thank
us
you.
one of the most international popular podcasts around the world.
Podcast.
So, we hope you enjoyed the show. And, if you want to come back and listen to it again, it's always free on here all over the world. You can find it. You can find us anywhere. Right, Reggie?
You can find us anywhere. Just pop it up there.
Okay, so until next time, we want you to be kind and affectionate to one another. Remember whose you are. Peace.
Yo, man, you said the philosophers. The Beatles, man. That was a band, man. The Beatles were a band. But, hey, I'm going to have to back you up, man. No shade. Love is all you need, man. Love is all you need. All right.